Choice program. In Lawrence, there haven't been any new vouchers issued since September 2006, mainstream or otherwise, because there isn't enough funding and there aren't any people with permanent mainstream vouchers who have left the Housing Choice Voucher program. We discussed the need for there to be fast-track vouchers for people in nursing facilities to move to the community. And the director at the Housing Authority said she was interested in starting a partnership with the SIL there in Lawrence to execute the vouchers for this. The problem with the Money Follows the Person rebalancing initiative is that HUD isn't committing to Money Follows the Person with any funding for fast-track vouchers for people with disabilities leaving nursing facilities. She spoke with the Kansas City Regional HUD office to see if there were any vouchers that aren't being used in other communities that could be freed up for people in nursing facilities, and there weren't. So they talked together and they came up with the conclusion that without a funding source for extra vouchers, there is no immediate availability of mainstream vouchers for Money Follows the Person. We thought it would be best for there to be specific vouchers assisting people leaving institutions, transitional vouchers that could be quickly available for people in institutions that could roll over after a certain time period into a mainstream voucher or a regular voucher. HUD needs to recognize this as a priority and put funding aside specifically for the Money Follows the Person rebalancing initiative and retain the same funding for permanent mainstream vouchers. Without extra funding, the MFP rebalancing initiative provides nothing substantial for people with disabilities. And I mean, you guys all know what Money Follows is, and you know, if you don't have a place to move to outside the nursing home, it's pretty hard to make the transition. And then my last one is from my friend Ruby Collins, who lives in Topeka, and she said, "My name is Ruby Collins, and I'm 52 years old. I was diagnosed with MS in June of 2000. Several years later, my ability to walk decreased. I applied to the city of Topeka for a ramp at my home. I had to wait and wait and wait for the city to install my ramp. While waiting, I had fallen several times on the steps I have to go up and down. Sometimes I had to push my lifeline button for help getting into my home. I was afraid of losing my job because of falling on my stairs. Then, about a year and a half later, maybe even a little longer, they were finally able to put a ramp on my home. I was so happy to finally have a ramp put on my home, I cried."
Thank you, Kathy.